Hey guys, so a lot of my friends have been coming to me and being like, what the F is going on with this impeachment inquiry? What does it mean? Can you explain it to me? So I started explaining it to people, and I figured I'd just do this little video to explain it in very simple, basic, layman terms, what just happened. So first of all, a little impeachment 101. This was not an impeachment. This is an impeachment inquiry that has been called for. An inquiry just means that they're going to go forward with investigating the specifics of the Ukraine complaint. Nothing else. This is specifically over this recent Ukraine complaint that I'm going to get into in a second. But it basically just means that Congress is driving towards impeachment, but it doesn't mean that they're going to end up there. This is just one in many steps. Then, if the evidence is enough for impeachment, the House of Representatives decides whether they want to proceed with impeachment, and then the Senate would hold and try the president during an impeachment trial, and then they need a 2/3 vote to actually impeach the president. Now, in the Constitution, it says that a president can be impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors. What that actually means has been debated by constitutional lawyers literally since the Constitution was written. It's super vague by design, and no one is really in agreement with what high crimes and misdemeanors means. So what actually happened? In a nutshell, a whistleblower, now we've been hearing this word all the time, a whistleblower means someone who reveals secret or unethical or illegal behavior against a person or an institution in power. So they submitted a formal complaint, and they followed all of the appropriate protocols for revealing, for whistleblower information. They did everything by the book. The complaint stated that during a routine call with the president of Ukraine, President Trump asked him to dig up dirt on Biden, who we all know is President Trump's most threatening opponent in the upcoming election. He then seemed to threaten to withhold aid to Ukraine until the Ukrainian president did what he wanted him to do. Now, this escalates the situation to a national security threat because Ukraine is a U.S. ally who desperately needs that aid in order to fight against very severe threats from Russia. Now, supporters of Trump have been saying that the withholding of aid has nothing to do with that personal favor that President Trump asked for. But a version of the transcript that was finally released after ages and ages of the Democrats asking for it, it seemed to indicate that it was a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of situation. They're going to have to prove that now during a trial or during their investigations. But on top of that, what makes this even sketchier is that the White House they moved the official transcript out of the server where everything is routinely stored and into a secure server that's only reserved for top national security threats. Now, it's not meant to be used for things that are politically sensitive. It's not meant to block transparency. It's not meant to keep things hidden from our government and from Congress and from the American people. It's not meant to protect the president. It's literally just meant for some things that are so highly sensitive and classified that it would be a threat to our national security if it was released. This is a very rare occasion that this should be used. And so the fact that this conversation was transferred into that server, and we've now are learning that many other conversations may have also been transferred there, that suggests that people are really trying to cover up what the president is saying. So it means, anyway, if all of these things are proven to be true, this is really problematic. It means that the president of the United States was abusing his office for personal gain. He was putting our entire country's national security at risk to the benefit of Russia, who we already know undermined our elections, regardless of whether the president had anything to do with that or not. And it also says that the White House team has been breaking the law in order to protect the president. So, my thoughts. Now, I've been listening to the news on both sides. The fact that this is even a reality that I need to mention is another problem, but we'll discuss that another day. I keep hearing a lot from Republicans that this is just another witch hunt by the Democrats and that they'll do anything to impeach the president and they're just grasping for whatever they can. But see, that's not actually true. While there are a lot of hardliner, left-wing members of the Democratic Party that would love to see the president impeached, that's not the case with Nancy Pelosi, who is the leader of the House and is the one who is in the position to make this formal impeachment inquiry. So she has been resisting pressure for impeachment for months. it's not something that she's made it very clear that this is not something that she wants. She would rather focus the energy on doing other things for the country. But when this Ukraine situation, this whistleblower report came up, it was really something that she couldn't ignore anymore, and she had to address it. A group of moderate Democrats, all from purple states, meaning that they could have gone to Trump, or they could have gone, Republican or Democrat, they all wrote this op-ed, and they said that they were in favor of an impeachment inquiry because it was just a matter of national security at this point. To ignore it would have been extremely dangerous, and it wasn't a political opinion. So this was something now that Pelosi really couldn't ignore. Let's just forget politics and President Trump for a second. Ignoring this accusation would set a really, really dangerous precedent for future leaders. No one is above the law, not even the president. The government needs to make sure that whistleblowers feel safe when they come forward, and that they're going to address any credible concern that comes up that shows that the president might have been violating his oath of office. So all in all, I think it's really essential that we move forward with this impeachment inquiry. I know most of us are exhausted. We would love to see, myself included, the government be doing other things with our time and our resources, and I would love to hear something on the news other than some crazy illegal thing that President Trump has done today. But at the end of the day, it's necessary at this point to follow the proper procedures and follow the laws that have been put in place in order to keep our democracy intact and preserve it for future leaders. So I hope that sums things up for you guys. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below or shoot me a DM or whatever it is. I want to make it very clear I'm not an expert at all. This is just things that I have been learning, and some of my things I've been learning, and some of my personal thoughts. Everything that I did state has been, my sources come from NPR, for the most part, and other credible news stations. I'm going to put a link to some media, news articles and podcasts and different things that you can listen to that I would recommend if you want to dig deeper and learn more about this. And I really welcome the discussion, and I appreciate you guys being interested, because at the end of the day, it's really important that we're all informed, because this is our country, and we got to be informed citizens and not buy into all of this left, right, he said, she said, witch hunt fight that is going on, because I think it's really dangerous, and at the end of the day, we have more in common than we do different. So let's band together and yeah, I don't know, let's just learn all that we can and really make informed opinions, especially online. Thanks, guys.